So here we are, new math for parents. And if you don't have this, I have a link in the post where you can go and get this and have it sent directly to your inbox every week. Okay, so relationship between the whole and the unit fraction. So this is how we were taught then. Then we were taught years ago, we were taught the denominator was described as a total number of equal parts. So I'm going to grab this and move this up here. Okay, it is a total number of equal parts. That's what we were told about the denominator. Or we were also told this the number on the bottom. And one part of the whole was described as one out of a total number of things. Okay, so now let's see how we're talking with kids about this now. So now we're expected to know that the denominator describes the size of the parts in the whole, and one part of the whole is described as a unit fraction. Okay, so that's that unit fraction piece again. It's described as one part in the whole. And on this side over here, we also have some vocabulary where we can refer back to it. So when I'm talking about it, and if you just need a little bit of a refresher, you can come here just to see what it means. So the denominator tells the size of the parts in the whole, and the unit fraction describes one part of the whole. So that's just a whole bunch of words without pictures to me. Okay, and I think it probably is to you too. So I'm going to just go ahead and jump all the way down to the pictures so that we can talk about it a little bit more. Okay, so we have it set up where we're looking at what we learned then compared to what we are learning now, what our kids are learning now. So this is how we learned it. A whole is separated into 4 equal parts. We know that. And we describe the whole and one part of the whole. So here's an example. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts in the whole, and we numbered them 1, 2, 3, 4. The whole is 4 out of 4 parts, which is 4 over 4. And one part of the whole is 1 out of 4, or 1 out of 4. Okay, this is how it's shown, where we have that denominator there. So the focus here is really looking at the whole number pieces of that. And so everything right now is really whole numbers. Okay, so all of these are whole numbers where we have 4 parts, and we aren't really looking at the sizes of the parts. And that's something that our kids miss. They don't look at the sizes of the parts. They just want to count the number of parts in the whole, put 4 over 4 and check, I'm done. Because that's what they want. Our kids don't want to think. They want to get an answer. And we don't want our kids just to get answers. We want our kids to be thinkers. So this is how we're learning it now. How our kids are learning it now. A whole is separated into 4 equal parts. Then they describe the whole and one part of the whole. So 1, 2, 3, 4 parts in the whole. And so this one part right here is 1/4. And that's the unit fraction. And what you notice about 1/4 is that that numerator is a 1, which means that it's one part of the whole. And so 1/4, sorry, y'all, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. The one whole, the whole is 1 or 4/4. Okay, 4/4 is what it is. The unit fraction is 1/4 of the whole, which is 1 over 4. And that denominator is 1 to show that it is a unit. Something that our kids struggle with is understanding those sizes of those parts. So we focus on the relationship between the whole and the size of those parts, the size of those parts. When you think about the unit fraction, basically what we have is this one thing that is one size, and we take it and we make copies of it. So 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4 more, that makes one whole. All of this is a whole. And we make copies of this 1/4, which means they all have to be equal parts or equal sizes. Okay, that's something that our kids are missing. All right, so I have some Cuisenaire rods, and I talked a little bit about these last time. So I want to erase some of this stuff here so I can get down to my Cuisenaire rods. This flat. Okay, so we're going to look at Cuisenaire rods. Cuisenaire rods help us to see relationships and help our kids to see relationships in fractions and whole numbers and a lot of other things. Okay. So what I'm going to show you right now is a Cuisenaire rod that we're going to use, and we're going to say that this is going to represent one whole for us. Okay, that represents one whole. And we're going to take this one whole and we're going to partition it into 4 equal parts. Okay, so one whole now is 4 equal parts. So I'm going to count them the way we were taught. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we look at this and we know that we have 4/4 to make the whole, if I count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, then the kids misunderstand and they think that the whole is 4 when it really is not. The whole is 1. So we have to make sure that when we are talking about fractions, we use the correct language and we label our fractions correctly. They need to see and be able to tell you that you have 1/4. And when you take this and you make copies of it, that's what that is. You have copies of it. So that means that they have to be equal parts because they're copies of each other. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. And 4/4 makes a whole. This helps the students with this misconception of knowing what the whole is. We do not want them to think this. We want them to know that this is one whole because we have those equal parts. So we'll keep doing activities like this just so that the kids understand. And when you are speaking with your kiddos, you use the correct language with them so that they understand why you're doing it.